Dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear, clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday. I'm your host, Matt Clark. We have a special guest joining me for the second week in a row, and I'll introduce her here in just a second. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for supporting my channel and on Facebook as well, giving supports and likes. We're growing, and I hope everybody gets a chance to go to YouTube, subscribe, hit notification, and the like button. And every time we do, the advantage of doing that is every time we do pop up or that we start a show, that you will get a notification that the show has started. So anyway, let me bring in my co-host today. What up, Maya Carter Long? How you doing, girl?
I'm good. You like my sweatshirt? These are not for sale, but Matt.
I don't like those colors. That ain't the ones you're black. It ain't pretty.
You made it.
Well, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I did have it designed for someone, yes, or some people, yes, because they begged me for it. So I did get those ugly colors. I never did touch those colors though. I used some forceps and some little things to get it because I don't touch that mess. Anyway, but speaking of yours, how you like my shirt today? My hoodie. As you know, today is Kobe's heavenly death day. He and his daughter Gianna died 2 years ago today, right about this time, as a matter of fact, in L.A. And it's one of those things like, some people say whenever something happens, a traumatic event, everybody remembers where they were and what they were doing. I remember exactly where I was, and I remember exactly what I was doing when I heard that. And, of course, tomorrow, and I don't know what the hell it is about today and tomorrow, but tomorrow, of course, is the anniversary of the Oklahoma State basketball plane crash, which I for sure remember what I was doing and where I was at. So, do you remember what you were doing and where you were at, Maya?
For Kobe's death, I was making lunch for the kids when I had the daycare at my house. I was in the middle of making lunch.
Yeah, because I mean, when I heard it, because somebody sent me a deal and I was like, Kobe who? And they're like, Kobe. I'm like, I said, Kobe Mamba, Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant? And they were like, yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, what? And then, of course, I went to the news and, everybody was trying to get any information that they could on it. And the one thing I will say about TMZ is that TMZ did not broadcast it until until his wife said something, because they didn't care about the other families. They only care about Vanessa, and if she knew, and they wanted to make sure that she knew, and then they asked for permission and said, hey, is it okay? And then she finally got back to him and said, yes, you can break the news, because she told the immediate family of everybody who was on the plane. She let them know, their families know what had happened, but all the people who were like out and about, who weren't like necessarily I mean, I guess it would be cousins and aunts. They found out like the rest of us found out. So I thought that was pretty cool of her.
Yeah.
Did you see the memorial that they did for them right afterwards? That they did for them right afterwards in at the, well, what's it called now? The crypt, I think is what it's called now. The
For the
crypt.
other families?
Well, no. What the Lakers
Oh,
did when they did Kobe's and
yeah.
Gianna's deal at the crypt, I think is what it's called now. But it was called Staples Center at the time. And we were talking about that, and Vanessa stood up, and I was just like, how in the world can that woman get up there and gave that speech? I'm just like, you have to
She's
be so
old
incredibly
school.
strong in order to do that.
That was crazy.
Did you see that? Did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because I was just like, man, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that is you're you're. I don't even know what the words to say to that because I was like, I cannot believe how strong this woman is for her to be able to do something like that. It was absolutely amazing. But anyway, so we talked about that. Uh, And we wish Vanessa and the girls, uh, you know, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure she's a wreck today. Thinking about that, not only losing her husband, the man of her life or of her dreams, but also her baby girl too. I just, two of them at once. I don't even know how somebody could get through that. But anyways, Women Only Wednesday. Thank you for joining me again. We're going to talk about a little football since you know about sports and you have to rag on me 24/7, get on my nerves about every time I talk to you, get on my nerves. By the way, that strawberry shortcake last night, oh my god!
Was good.
but
I loved it.
like I said, the problem is eating any desserts at any restaurant, whether it's Michael's Grill or Ned's or where we were at last night at the Hutch or wherever. The problem is after you eat, you won't go take a nap.
Yeah, I felt that. I mean, 30 minutes later, I was asleep. I
well,
slept real
I
good when I got home.
I left Cat's Tavern before y'all did last night because what were we watching? North Carolina. We were watching North Carolina, weren't we? For a little, I guess we were watching North Carolina. Yeah, no, Kentucky. We're watching Kentucky basketball game, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going home. I'm tired. I got to go home."
You know,
Anyway,
like 5 minutes after you did.
oh y'all did. Mark talked you into it, did he?
I had to get sleep.
Oh, that's right.
It's
I have
early for the.
I have to get up and put my makeup on and make sure I look
Yes, I
cute
can't
today.
sleep right now.
Oh
So
my God.
I have to leave early.
Women, y'all get on my nerves. Anyways, okay, we're gonna talk about the NFL. The two things are the 49ers versus the Rams. Who do you like and why do you like them? Now remember we talked about this before that the Rams are gonna be playing at SoFi, which of course, like Tampa Bay, if they do win this game, they do get to play at home in 2 weeks. So they don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to do anything. They're right there at the house. And by the way, how do we get an invite to Snoop's party? How do we get an invite to his Snoop
I
Super
haven't
Bowl
figured
party?
that
I
out.
want to know that. We need to figure that. We need to get somebody on that. We need to go to Snoop's party.
We do.
But anyway, the 49ers have beaten the Rams 6 times in a row. So what do you think?
Uh, I don't care for either team. I just
Oh, why?
think
Because it's
that.
not OU football?
True. Um, I'm not a fan of either of them. I was a fan of the Rams whenever Sam Bradford was playing with them.
Oh, my God.
That's the only reason why.
Should have
But I'm gonna
known.
take
Should have known there's an OU reference.
I'm gonna
Jesus.
take the 49ers.
You're going to take the 49ers. So you're going to do you really think somebody can beat somebody 7 times in a row? They beat them twice in a row. Hey, remember,
No,
no, no, no. Remember early?
no,
No?
no. But I'm gonna still take them.
Uh,
They'll beat them.
Yeah, because, the 49ers were down, what was it, 18, and they came back roaring back and beat the Rams. So I'm gonna take the Rams in this because I don't know if you can beat somebody 3 times in a year, first of all. Second of all, the Rams are playing much better than they were when they played them earlier, the 2 times early in the year. Third of all, the Rams do want to play at home and be the second team to play at home in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. Now, my caveat or my uh, opposition to that is I'd like to see the 49ers play the Chiefs again and the Chiefs beat the 49ers again in the Super Bowl. That I would like to see simply because that was a hell of a game 2 years ago when the Chiefs did beat the Rams. I mean, beat the
They can
Chiefs. The
do
Chiefs
it.
beat the 49ers. I'd like to see that again.
They can do it. I have faith in them.
Yeah, I do too. I think that it's going to be exciting watching that game. But I do, like I said, you picked the 49ers, right?
Yep.
I'm putting this down. Maya 49ers, Big Dog Clark, MC, and his Azzle is taking the Rams. Okay, then we're going to take the Bengals versus the Chiefs. Who you like?
I'm gonna take. Like I said, I'm not a fan of them, but I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
I don't know. You live in Oklahoma City. How can you not be a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm just not.
You're a Cowboys fan?
No, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm a Saints fan.
Oh my God! Well, your coach may be end up being the coach of the Cowboys in a year. What you think about that?
I hope no. He's no. People have been saying that he is not.
I
He
think.
will not stoop that low.
Oh wow. Okay, Cowboy fans, you heard that.
No, they did great. The Cowboys did great this year. It was just a day to day thing to see if they were going to choke or not.
Yeah, I agree with the Cowboys and that jinx of whatever that deal is they have going with themselves. Uh, I don't know why they tend to choke or something always tends to happen to them for whatever reason, and I don't really know why that is. But it's always something happens to them that somebody gets hurt or they get some sort of snake bite gets them every single time. It's pretty frustrating if you're a Cowboys fan. I'm really not, so I don't really care. But because I don't, you know what's funny is football is the only sport I do not have a team in. The other sport, I got a team that's my favorite. I do not have a
Not
favorite in football.
not even college.
Well, no, not really.
That's why you go to the OU games.
No, that is no. We've had this discussion. If I'm gonna pick a team, I'm gonna pick my Cowboys to win, of course. I mean, I'm gonna go with my school always. I mean, I'm alumni.
Oh,
So I'm gonna go with my school. But I just, if you're gonna put me on the fire like that, then yeah, I'm an OSU fan. But I don't really. I mean, football is just like I like it. I mean, I love watching it, but I don't really have a professional. We didn't say nothing about no college professional team. But if I have to go with college, I'm gonna go with my alumni school, of course. And I go to OU games because OSU games are at an inconvenient time, and I work on Saturday mornings at Santa Fe Family Life Center, which you know. And OU plays later, but when OU played in the mornings, I did not go to their games. Thank you.
I feel like it's an excuse, but okay.
You know what? Just anyways, back to the Bengals and the Chiefs because you're on my last. You
I
taking
want
the
the
Chiefs,
Chiefs
right?
to win it all. Yes, I
Uh,
want them to win the whole thing.
Even though you're not a fan, you want the Chiefs to win the whole thing.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if they did it again.
I agree. And then, what did you think of that Bengals Chiefs game the other night? Did you see it? Oh, that's right. You didn't see the game,
Yeah.
did you?
No, I did watch. I did watch a bunch of replays and stuff like that, and I think that overtime rule should be changed.
Okay. Now let's.
The exception at least.
Okay. Now. This is something that's funny. I just found this out yesterday. When the Chiefs lost to Tom Brady, and in the overtime, which Tom Brady threw an interception right before overtime, and they called offsides on the Chiefs. Tom Brady got the ball back. They went down. They scored. There was like 40 seconds left. Patrick Mahomes drove them down the field in field goal range, and they kicked the field goal with 18 seconds left. And by the way, Tom Brady did not drive back down the field and kick a field goal game winning. FYI, just so you know. It took Patrick Mahomes 13 seconds. The Chiefs kicked it off to the New England Patriots, and Tom Brady did not drive them down the field in 18 seconds against the Chiefs. Just so we're saying that, just real clear. Anyway, the Chiefs. Do you know the Chiefs put in after that game 3 years ago? The Chiefs put in a deal saying we want to change the rules, and the teams got to vote against it. Guess one of the teams who was adamantly against changing the rules?
Tom Brady's team.
The Bills. The Bills were against
Karma.
changing the rule. And guess what came back to bite them? The rule that they were
Hey,
against changing cost them. So, Bills fans, just do this right now because your team A plays defense, so they could have stopped them. You all had the number one defense in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes went 13 seconds for that. They kicked that and then went down the field 6 for 6 on passing in order to get the Chiefs down there. So he went 8 for 8, counting that to get them in. And I think he went on his last 10 or 11 straight passes for the touchdown to Tyreek. Then the 13-second drill. I guess that's what we can call it now, the 13-second drill. And then he came back down and went 6 for 6 in overtime. So I don't want to hear the Bills fans say one word because your management is the one that said no to changing the rules. So, you know, you could have changed the rules, which you would have benefited from, but instead you were against it. And guess what? Eh,
Hit you in the nuts.
Stop it. Close your mouth. We'll wait till next year, which is what you said last year after the Chiefs beat you in the championship game. Oh, we'll be back next year, which you were. The Chiefs went, spank that. Spank that. I can't say the word
So
on
what
live.
what rule did they want to change? Did they want to change
The overtime rule. The Chiefs wanted to change the rule and say both teams should have a chance to get the ball.
have the ball in the
Yes.
loop?
And so funny is, even after the game, Andy Reid said, "Hey, listen, I have still want, he goes, we benefited from the rule, but we still believe that the first person, each team should touch it." Now, I was listening to somebody yesterday, and this was really interesting. What they said is, I'm going to get your opinion on this. If that happened again, like, the Chiefs go down and score, the first team scores, whomever. The second team gets the ball, and if they go down and score the touchdown, they have to go for two.
Okay.
So there will either be, you will either lose or win.
Yeah.
And I was like, now that makes complete sense to me because that way both teams get to touch the ball. You're only going one more series because I don't think going into, they're playing over and over. Somebody could get hurt. Plus, you got to turn around and play another team the following week. So I don't think that's fair. But I thought that was an excellent solution. That if the first team scores, the second team does get the ball, but they have to go for two if they score a touchdown. What do you think about
I
that?
like that.
I do too.
I like that. They should just get rid of that exception and it would be fine. And then you have to go for two.
Yeah, I mean, I love that because that way, each team touches the ball once, and you have to go for two, which, going for two is not exactly a guaranteed anything. You're not going to guarantee to win. But what is so funny is I think it's been, what was it, 174 times since they implemented this rule. Only 35 times has a team got the ball first and won. And you remember when the Cowboys and the Raiders played earlier in the year, the Cowboys got the ball first, did not score a touchdown, kicked a field goal, and then the Raiders came back and scored a touchdown and beat Dallas. So just because you get the ball first doesn't matter. But in the playoffs, Maya, in the last 7 times in the playoffs this has happened, 5 times the team who got the ball first scored a touchdown
Or scored a touchdown.
in the playoffs. So that was pretty interesting. I thought that was kind of cool. So we both agree that the Chiefs. Why do you got to agree with me? I don't really like how you're agreeing with me on the Chiefs. So we're agreeing that both teams are both te- huh? So we're agreeing that both teams are going to win.
But
Okay, now we're going to go to women's basketball and men's basketball. We'll talk about the women's first because this is maybe the Wednesday. We're going to talk. You get your stuff. Are you ready? Because
yeah.
last week, because last time you were, what were you 2-3 and 2-3 and 2? You were three. You had 3 wins and 2 losses. You picked 3 winners and 2 losses.
In women's football, I think I
And
got
women's basketball, you were 3 for 2.
two.
You won. You did 3.
Did I?
And men's, you were the opposite. I think you were 1-4
I
in
was
men's and
two for
3
three for men.
and 2. Yeah, and you were 2 for 3 in women, or either 3 for 2. I was trying to give you a little love, trying to make you 3 for 2. But go ahead and take 2 for 3. I
Yep,
get it.
yep.
Well, fine. Now you were 2 for 3. We have to go back and check that though. Okay. In the men's game tonight, uh, it's gonna be really good. The men's game tonight is Iowa State versus Cowboys and OU at West Virginia. Now we already know you're not taking OSU, so I ain't gonna even ask you on that because I already know you ain't taking OSU. I already know. I
Okay.
already know you taking. I already know you taking Iowa State. Who you taking?
Yeah. Iowa State.
Of course you are. You just ooh. And remember, it's at Gallagher, Iowa. It's not at Iowa. It's at home. which of course I am. By the way, I am going to the game tonight, so I'm gonna watch it. And I'm gonna talk. Well, that's if it doesn't snow. If it snows, I ain't going nowhere. I'm just gonna hang out with my baby girl and
Oh, and I
snuggle.
thought we were gonna go eat tonight.
No, no. I'm going to watch my boys play. Okay, OU versus at West Virginia. Who are you taking in that ball game?
West Virginia.
Over OU, huh? Me
Yes.
too. Me too. One of the reasons why I'm doing it is OU's playing on the road at West Virginia, and that's not the easiest place to play. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, TCU versus, excuse me, and then women's. Who do you like in women's tonight?
Which game?
Uh, where's my thing
Well,
at?
OU OSU, of course.
That is Bedlam tonight, isn't it?
Yes.
And who do you like?
OU.
You mean OSU? Thank you. You
I
finally
said
picked a good team.
OU.
You finally picked a good team, OSU. I've got
I said
Maya
OU.
picking OSU.
OU.
Maya picked OSU over OU in Bedlam. I like that idea.
I don't know what
We
you're talking
finally
about.
getting
You
you
putting
right.
words
That's what.
in my mouth. You putting words in my mouth.
Okay, we have over here. Okay, so KU versus Iowa State. Who do you like? Because we went over the. Remember, we went over there and we were sitting there looking and. Hang on a second. We're going to take a quick break, Maya, and then we're going to come back and then we're going to do our picks for this because I cannot wait to hear who you're saying. Because by the
Okay.
way, thank you for picking OSU. I appreciate that.
You still put words in my mouth.
Oh, you're still there. Shock. Can't believe it. I thought you'd went away, but no, I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't get that lucky.
Turn up my microphone.
Huh?
Apparently, I cannot be heard.
Can you hear me now?
I
Can
can hear you.
well,
Apparently,
I
my
can hear you fine.
microphone is turned up.
Can they not hear you?
I don't know.
Oh, you got a message from
Oh,
somebody
they
saying they
said
couldn't hear.
my yeah, my volume is a little low.
Okay, well, I'll try to turn it up, so hopefully that'll work. And if they don't like it, I don't care. Because
Okay.
the only person they need to hear is me. They don't need to hear you. They need to
I'm
hear me.
important, okay?
I am the important one. Check it. Anyway, so we're gonna. Anyway, okay. So Iowa State is 5-2 and leading the Big 12. OU's 5-2. Kansas State is 5-2 with Aoki. She's a monster. I mean, she dropped 61 on the Sooners the other night. You didn't say nothing about that. Anyway, and Texas is 4-2. So, okay, who you got? KU versus Iowa State at Iowa
Um,
State.
I wanted to say Iowa, but I canceled it out and put Kansas.
Even though Iowa State is the number one team in the Big 12 conference, you're taking KU.
I'm
Okay.
telling you, my it was my heart.
Oh, your heart. Well, I'm not going with my heart. I'm taking the best team I think, which is Iowa State. Okay, Baylor versus Tech. Who do you
Baylor,
like? Baylor.
100%.
I gotta go with them too because of my boy Brad and Linda and his girl Linda. So I'm gonna go with them, even though I think the Tech is probably gonna win. I'm still gonna take Baylor. I agree. Kansas State versus Texas, which of course
Texas,
is number 3 versus number 4, and it's at Texas. Who do you like?
Texas,
Huh?
Texas.
Like Texas?
Underdog again.
Uh, I don't know if she's going to come back and score 61 and dominate Texas the way she did OU the other night. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the same. Um,
What's her average? Do you know?
no, I didn't. I guess we could look that up. We'll do that next time. I'll look that up
That's
and
pretty
come back.
awesome. 61
Yeah, she
points.
scored 61, which was I think it was it was not only a season high, but I think it was an all time high for the Big 12 conference too as well.
That is
So
crazy.
I'm going to take Texas as well. since they are playing at home and they are third and fourth, and usually teams that close, you usually want to take. I'm going to take the home team in a close game. Is usually how that's going to be. So, to go back over our picks, Maya's taking the 49ers. I am taking the Rams. Maya is taking the Chiefs along with me. We're both going to believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to get it done, and then she's also picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. So have I, but I picked them from the very beginning, and even though they were dead in the water early in the year, I still thought the Chiefs was going to come back and get the win anyways. So, all right. So now I want to thank you for coming on today. I appreciate you. I'm going to jump in.
I have
Yes.
a
Oh, you have some.
question
Oh, you have questions. Oh, hey, cool. What do we got?
about the Thunder
Oh,
because
sweet.
the Bulls game was pretty awesome. That was really fun to watch. Um, we were talking about their defense
Okay.
lacking.
Well, as I've said on After the Storm several times, I think that my issue with them is simple. Um, we're not as athletic as other teams. So against certain teams who are more athletic, we just don't have the foot speed. So when you put Muscala or you put Baisley and you have Jerome, all three on the court at the same time, we usually are in trouble because we don't have enough foot speed out there to handle athletic teams, and they tend to take they take advantage of that. So you can't have all three of them usually on the court at the same time. You usually have to have no more than two of them, whether that's Jerome and Scala or Muscala and Baisley, which they basically play the same position almost. And But anyway, teams tend to exploit matchups, and we talk about that. And the Bulls at first, I mean, we came out and I talked about this on After the Storm. You guys can go to Facebook or go to mcsportsnetwork.com and click on it. You can go watch my post game analysis of the Bulls versus the Thunder. And I was talking about that simply because the Thunder got back in the game with a smaller, quicker lineup, and the Thunder came out shooting threes. And if you go out shooting threes, the other team was your favorite word, transition. If you get a team out in transition, doesn't matter what kind of half court defense you play because we were getting their hands in their face, but they were just knocking down threes because they got in rhythm. So a lot of times with our defense is who's on the court. And then if you come out and you shoot threes, and if it's a long shot, there's a long rebound, and they can go the opposite direction. So our defense is okay, but it's who we have on the court at a particular time. Who asked that
That's
question,
how.
by the way?
No, I was just
Oh, you were
asking.
asking. Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
have another one. The
Okay.
interesting fact: Isaiah Roby. He played 18 games and started in 5 of the Thunder games. He got recalled from the G League.
Back up to us.
No, like he was with the Thunder and then went back to the G League, and now he's recalled from the Oklahoma City Blue.
Do you know who
They
picked him
didn't
up?
say why. They didn't say why
Well, if he got recalled up to us, that means that we recalled him back up to us.
to the Thunder.
Yeah, to the Thunder. Yes, or he got picked up by some other team. To got recalled up to the NBA by another team. I liked Isaiah Roby. I thought he was raw. He's big. He's strong. He's athletic. He just wasn't ready yet. But I did like the kid. He was one of my favorite guys. I really liked his deal. Now Diakite, I like him better because he's more physical. Okay.
There's your favorite.
If I have a choice between him or Roby, I would take Diakite because he gives us a more physical presence inside the paint. So I do like him a lot better than I like Roby, but Isaiah Roby was way more athletic and could shoot the three and do more things and was more versatile than Diakite. But at the same time, he was too, as we always would say, hey, he's light in the ass, and so that had a lot to do with it.
And what award did Giddy get again?
The player of the month. I mean,
Again?
yeah, he's unbelievable. Or play. I knew he
Isn't
got
it
player of the
3
week. He
months?
got player of the week again. I know he did
Isn't it
that.
3 months with
He
player
was
of the
player of
month?
the month, and then he was player of the week again. So I mean, Josh Giddey is he's slowly turning into one of the best players we have. And to me, like we talk about, it's SGA 1, Josh Giddey 2, Dort 3, and now that I've watched him more, Wiggins 4, and then Trey Mann. I like Trey Mann of what he gives us now. I want him coming off the bench. I don't want him, starting or anything like that. I like our starting lineup when we go with SGA, Giddy, Dort, Wiggins, and Robinson or Robert. I like that lineup, and I think we should start them in the beginning, and we should start them after halftime. I don't understand why he chooses to start a different lineup in the second half. I don't get that. It gets everybody out of the rhythm, and I don't really like that so much. But I'm not the coach. But I will say this, Maya, and you can testify this. Go. What did you make? What did you make the comment uh, about people going to the game versus people watching the game and their interpretation of players?
Oh, okay. Um, People that go to the games have a different favorite player than the people who just sit at home or do whatever and watch the game.
Why do you think that?
It's crazy to see the two. Um, when I'm at home or out somewhere watching the game, my full attention is not on the TV
Right.
at all. Not now. When you're there, you have no choice but to watch. That's all you're doing.
Right.
So, um, I just think it's crazy. Like you get it's everybody at the game has a different favorite player, and then everybody that people who don't go to the games, they have a different player. They love that other player, but it's and I think people need to do what you keep saying: go to the games, go support. You're gonna find that you're gonna like a different player. Trust me.
Yeah. When you made that comment last night or whenever it was, I thought about it. I was like, that's so on point because when you're there watching the game, you actually see it in real life. So you can see when a player makes a bonehead move, it's much worse in person
Yeah,
than it is on the screen. And if you see a person making a three while you're on TV, you hadn't been sitting there and you watching him, and then you watch the coach pull him out because what are you doing? It was a bonehead plays you're making, and the coach jerks him out. Versus you're just watching the game on TV, you're not really paying attention, so you tend to have a different view. But that was an excellent point that you made. And dang, I gotta admit that you made an excellent point. Oh my God, I don't really.
yeah. Okay, the question.
Oh, another question. Cool.
Is there anyone the Thunder should try to trade for? And what's the next step in rebuilding the Thunder? Or not rebuilding, they say rebuild, but I mean, we have a great team.
We
But
have a good team. Yes.
what's the name?
Enhancing what we have.
Yeah.
Yes. Taking us to the next level, which would be a better way of a better analogy. It just depends. I mean, for me, we need a big, but nobody's getting rid of their bigs. Okay. So to me,
A three pointer.
right now, all the 3-point shooters are where they got to be. Uh, we unless we have something that they need, and I think we're going to probably release Derek Favors because nobody's clearly going to trade for him. It doesn't look like right now, but we have a few more weeks before the trade deadline comes up, so hopefully we can get something for him. Um,
And he has not been playing.
well, that's because they don't want to take a chance on him getting hurt for trade bait, and then also we're committed to our younger players. So that's the main reason why he's not playing because you don't want to get that guy hurt. You want him to have a chance to be traded to somebody or get a chance to be healthy enough when he goes on waivers, somebody can pick him up and want him. Now I like Derek Favors, but we clearly have went to younger route for that. So, but to go back to the question, I think that we need to continue to go through the draft. We need to find because there's tons of guys out there. So just go through the draft. There's tons of shooters, and if you want to stay young, which clearly we do, then you go through the draft and you look for the shooters. And you get guys, and I'm talking about guys who are spot up shooters. Jerome and Muscala are both spot up shooters, but neither one of them can defend. On the other end, even though Jerome did make a nice block, he did make it had a nice block, but they can't really defend on the other end. And Muscala had a block too, but when you talk about matching up with somebody, if they get exploited, like against the Cavs and against San Antonio, They just exploited those matchups, and it was over. So I just believe we should go through the draft. That's what we're doing. We have tons of draft picks. Hey, let's go get us some guys. But it depends on the scouting service, and once again, it depends on what Sam Presti, our GM, decides he wants to look for. And we've talked about it ad nauseum. We need some big men to protect the paint, and we need shooters. That's what we need, and
So you
that's what we
think
got to
we'll
have. So.
only you think we'll only lose one player?
Yeah, I don't think Favors is the only one I think that we will lose as far as a trade. Now, I know there's been some speculation about Kendrick Williams because a lot of teams like him, and you know that he came back and now he's playing a lot more, and he's a pretty exciting player. But to me, he's a pretty good player. But I mean, I, I think that he thinks he's better than what he is, and he makes some bone. He comes out and he takes shots that he shouldn't because he's like, let me get my shots up, and he's trying to upgrade his trade value and his monetary value, and saying I am a scorer. But once again, the Thunder have a lot of medium players that are out there. They should be backup players, and they're trying to take primary role instead of being role players. They're trying to take be the primary player. No, your primary players are SGA and Giddy, and I do like the fact that Giddy uh, is on the floor if SGA is not. Because in the first of the year, I had talked about that on my show after the storm about how he can't have them both on the off the court at the same time. That's not going to work. And he has done that. They've made that transition, and one of them is on the floor at all times. But the problem with SGA is he gets so exhausted because he works his butt
Yeah,
off trying to score and then try to defend on the other end. Dort, after watching him now, he's starting to fade more at the end because he's guarding the best player. So if you're going to take pride, which is reason why everybody liked Lou Dort, was because of his defense. And then now the Thunder's like, well, we want you to score. Well, not everybody can score and defend. That's a very difficult thing to do. So he needs to basically concentrate more on defending, okay, than scoring. And if he can do that and then knock down, like I think the other night, what was he, two for five from three, something like that, which is not bad. I'll take 2 for 5. And he actually did make a three at the end, which is
that was
he doesn't usually do that.
that was the game where he only had 3 points, though, right?
No. This was against the Bulls. He went 2 for 5.
Okay.
So I was really pleased with that he went 2 for 5, and that because remember he hit one early and then he hit one at the late to bring us within one, I believe, or two, and then we came down and fouled and they made one free throw, and then we came down and missed. SGA missed the three, which was a good shot. But anyway, that's what I think. We should continue to go through the draft to get players. There's some NBA players out there, but there's nobody I really would trade anybody we got for them. I think you need to go through the draft, but please do not draft any more European players. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Sorry. But go ahead. Any more questions?
That's it.
All right, Maya. Thank you very much. You did wonderful today. I appreciate you, and I will see you not tonight because I'm gonna go watch my boys go
It's
Pokes.
okay.
Take care of
It's
that
okay.
business tonight against your team that you
I'm
picked.
just saying.
You wear me out. I cannot believe I gave you that shirt. Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Anyway, thank you, Maya, for coming on tonight or today. Uh, Appreciate what you did. You made some good points, and like the fact that she's got some ladies who are giving us questions. I really like that. Makes it great. Makes the show that much better. So I appreciate what she did for that. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about the draft. Or excuse me, not the draft. We're going to talk about Major League Baseball. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame and what I feel about that and what happened. All right, be right back. Hey, and welcome back to the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday. In our final segment, we're going to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame, how David Ortiz uh, became only the fourth person to hit 500 home runs and have three World Series victories. And of course, Babe Ruth is one of those people. But anyway, to have three World Series championships and hit 500 home runs, so quite an honor for him to be able to do that. Barry Bonds, who did not get in, was one of those others, which uh, this is how I feel about him and Roger Clemens and not getting in. And my problem with the Baseball Hall of Fame and their whole antics about the way they do things. Okay, a uh, Pete Rose. Now he bet on baseball. He says he didn't, but he was a gambler, and that's the one rule of baseball had: you do not bet on baseball. So I kind of get him not going in, but I think it was mainly the reason why he did not get in was from the simple fact that he had no attrition. When they called him, he did not say, "Hey, I did it. I'm sorry." And I think had he done that and not lied and not went through what he went through, I do believe Pete Rose would have probably been in the Hall of Fame. Now think about this. Everything about Pete Rose is in the Hall of Fame. His uniform, his bat, his cleats, everything is in there except his face, except his bust. That's it. Everything else is in the Hall of Fame except that. So it's kind of weird that that is the only thing that's keeping him out. But at the same time, I do understand the rules are the rules. And bro, when you break it, just apologize. Don't these athletes over and over and over, and I don't know why they don't get it. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, I did. Oh, and deny. Then it's always an apology. Like A-Rod with steroids. You got busted, bro. And he was on the ballot for the first time. And of course, he got, 25%, 26%. He wasn't getting in, but he's one of the greatest shortstops ever to play. But guess what? I don't see him getting in. If you don't let Bonds and Roger Clemens in, there's no way you're going to let this guy in. And Barry Bonds, many consider the greatest hitter that anybody's ever seen. He's unbelievable. He hit with power. He can hit bases. I mean, steroids does not help you hit the baseball. It might help you hit it farther only. It does not help you hit the baseball. It doesn't make your eyes better. It doesn't make your hand-eye coordination better. It has nothing to do with any of that. But at the same time, he was able to get something done with that. So I think that that's a travesty is Barry Bonds because unlike Clemens and unlike A-Rod, there was no evidence whatsoever of him doing it. No one said he did it. No one saw him did it. Never tested positive one time for it. But on the other side, your head doesn't get bigger. So I guess the absence of evidence is evidence. Now I've listened to some people, and I've listened to Jim Traber's take on it, and I love Jim. And when it comes to baseball, I will bow down to him every time because when it comes to baseball, dude, he's on point. But nobody caught Barry. But like you said, your head just don't grow. So because of that, and because people believe that he was cheating, he's banned. Even though he got 67% and he was 8% short of what he needed, which is 75% to get in. People, he and Clemens were Hall of Famers before any of this happened. So based on what they were before, how do they not get in? On the other side of that, those old school guys, they were popping pills left and right. Drunks, alcoholics, they got in. They were cheating. Phil Negro cheated like a mother. He got in. This was a steroid generation, so you can't really pull them out because put an asterisk, put something that says whatever steroid generation because he has the all-time home run record. You ain't taking that out. So I don't really get that. But he and Clemens were Hall of Famers before any of this happened. So how do you not keep them in? How do you keep them out? Now, I know you're punishing them because of that. I get it, but those guys are great. Whereas David Ortiz, all he was a DH. He didn't go out there and play no position. He just get now his home runs and stuff, and he played for the team that I do not like at all. I don't like anything Boston. I don't like the Celtics. I don't because I'm a Laker fan. Laker won, Thunder 1A. Well, I was a Laker fan until Zero's there. Now I'm not a Laker fan until he leaves. And then I'm a Yankees fan. Yankees, Dodgers. So I don't like the Red Sox. And then I hate everything about New England Patriots and their cheating butts. So I'm out on them. So everything Boston I'm not a fan of. But this guy was an incredible hitter. But the fact that he was only a DH, that kind of bothered me a little bit. But it's just like a kicker in NFL. You're only a kicker. So do you get in because you were only a kicker? Well, sure you do. So what's the thing with baseball? Why shouldn't you get in if all you did was a DH? And he was one of the best ever. So yeah, he did get in. But my other issue is they should say who does what. Because when Derek Jeter got in, the only unanimous Hall of Fame ever was number 42. By the way, that's a great name. Mario Ravana. He was an unbelievable closer for the Yankees. Mario Ravana. Unbelievable. One person voted for Derek Jeter not to be in the Hall of Fame. I bet you anything it was a Red Sox fan. And then you don't have the nerve to step up and say why you did it. Everybody knows because you're a punk. That's why you didn't vote for him. You're a punk. That's why you don't talk about it. If you're a real man, you would have stepped up and said, I didn't vote for him and this is why. Because you don't have a legitimate reason other than you don't like the guy. Which, by the way, Hall of Fame stuff to me has zero to do with you liking somebody or not liking somebody. Like we talked about with Terrell Owens. Whether you like him or not is irrelevant. You go by what that person did on the field of play. That's what judges somebody Hall of Fame or not. Not whether you liked them or not, whether they were a piece of trash or not. But now, if they do things that are morally reprehensible, yes, 100%. If they're a complete fool, yes, 100%. But Terrell Owens never did anything to anybody in the locker room. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't rape anybody. He didn't steal from anybody. He was just an idiot. He was about me. That's what he was about. Just like Zero in plays for Lakers now. Me. But you can't take away from his accomplishments, whether you like him or not. Is irrelevant. And I want to thank my boy Terry Miller. I'm so happy for him getting into he got into the Colorado Hall of Fame, and a year later he's into the College Hall of Fame. So congratulations to him. And then my boy R.W. McQuarters, and I'm going to have him on at some point here in the next week or so we can talk about him becoming a member of the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. I want to say congratulations to you, R.W. What a hell of an athlete he was, and he can hit the golf ball a long way. He's a very good golfer as well. Got a chance to play with him in the Wayman Tisdale fundraiser for them, the golf tournament at the Tulsa Country Club in Tulsa a couple of months ago. So, but anyway, those are my feelings on the Hall of Fame. A Hall of Fame should have everything to do with what you do on the field. And all this personal bias in baseball, they're such purists with stuff. It's pathetic for me. I mean, come on, guys. If you're going to be a purist, then these guys were Hall of Famers before the steroid issue. And remember, everybody was taking steroids at the time, but Barry Bonds never got caught. You going to hold it against Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, who actually got interest back in baseball, and baseball was dying interest game. Nobody cared about it. And because of their home run battle, it brought interest back to baseball, but you're going to penalize them for it. Now, whether Sammy Sosa is a Hall of Fame player overall or not, that's debatable. Mark McGwire, that's debatable. But Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds, dude, they were unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, Roger Clemens is definitely one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Now, if you want to say he took steroids, it was simply to prolong his career. That's why he did it. Now, did he cheat baseball or did he cheat himself? Barry Bonds on the other side, he never got caught. And you're punishing a guy 10 years in a row for something he never got convicted of. No one accused him of it, or people said he did it and accused him, but there was zero proof from his trainers. The people FBI looked him up and down. They wanted to get the guy so bad, could not do it. So how is he not in? That makes zero sense. Once again, people's biased. People who are jealous because you were not as good, because you were not as athletic, because you could not hit the baseball as good as he could, because you could not pitch as good as he could, because you were just a damn writer and you weren't good enough to play sports. But you're smart enough to write about it. Who the hell are you not to put somebody in? Just pisses me the hell off. Anyway, Hall of Fame is about what you did on the field, what you did on the court, what your peers who played against you thought. That's what Hall of Fame is. It has nothing to do with these executive committees and people who are paying money and all that. That has nothing to do with Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame is everything to do with who you are and what you did on the field. That's what the Hall of Fame is. So, enough about my rant. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching Women Only Wednesday. We went into a long rant at the end. Sorry about that. But I want to thank Maya Carter-Long for her being my co-host again this week. And thank you for everybody who asked questions, and Maya got to talk to them about it. I appreciate you looking in. I hope you continue to support us. Remember, go to YouTube, hit subscribe and notifications so anytime we come on and we do any sort of show that you will get notified and then you can tune in. Or you can go to mcsportsnetwork.com and you can click on the link to After the Storm or the Unpopular Hour and watch any episode that you want to watch. So anyway, till next time, peace out. Appreciate you.
In that moment, I rediscovered you, nature gods, are the portal of the universe. Your poetry, the world still learning the alphabet. Echoes of politician tradition written on walls throughout halls of a Four Seasons lost. In Austin, I saw pause.